All right, y'all, let's go ahead and take and move a standard form equation to vertex form, and we're going to do that by completing the square. So when I do this, I go ahead and start with the squared term and the linear term. I put a parenthesis around them, and what I do is I draw the area model. So I draw the area model nice and big. Now remember, this area model, it is called completing the square. So that means we're going to be making a square, which means one side is going to be exactly the same as the other side. So I'm going to go ahead and plug these pieces in. I'm going to say x squared goes into this first diagonal, which automatically means that I'm going to have x times x on the outside to make that x squared. But then we have that 10x, and that 10x right here is going to go here on the diagonal. If you remember from multiplying binomials, that the sum of this diagonal here, when we're talking about linear binomials, should add up to 10x. Well, because it's a square, these two sides have to be the same. Well, what would go into each one of these boxes if they are exactly the same? Well, let's take 10 divided by 2, and that would give us 5x. Okay, so we take 5x. Well, on the outside, that would mean that what times x is 5x? Well, that's positive 5. And that would be the same over here, positive 5. So we have x plus 5 and x plus 5, which just simply means we have x plus 5 squared. Now, you're going to notice automatically that there is still a box here. Well, there is still a box here that hasn't been filled in. So look at this box right here. If we have this, it wasn't there before. There's nothing there before, but now I can take that 5 and this 5, and I can multiply them. So I can do 5 times 5, which is 25. Well, guess what? This is new. This is new, and it's extra that was not originally in the problem. And that 25 is showing up in this parentheses set after we square everything. So because this is an extra 25, what we're going to do is we are going to subtract 25 from the outside of the parentheses. I'm going to put minus 25 here, and that is going to let us account for that extra 25 that shows up in that box. Now, you'll notice in the original problem, there was a positive 5, so I need to make sure that that still shows up, positive 5. Okay. From here, we are just going to go ahead and clean up the equation a little bit. So I'm going to come through and write y equals to x plus 5 squared. And then negative 25 plus 5 is minus 20. Now, we do want to verify our work. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to type in the original equation, y equals x squared plus 10x plus 5. And then I'm going to type in the next equation, y equals to parentheses x plus 5 squared minus 20. What I'm looking for is for them to overlap because they're equivalent or the same. So if you notice, I turn on the red one, it turns black. In the same spot, I turn on the black one, and then it is able to turn red. That means that they are in fact the same and equivalent, and we've converted from standard form to vertex form.